Welcome to Aunty Lou's Hour. In this episode, I speak to Adrian Vallace about dating somebody living with HIV. We also talk about his book, Secrets of Personal Development. If you like this podcast, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Adrian Vallace. Hello,
Well,
hello.
hello. Look who's finally decided to invite me to her podcast.
Well, today is quite a significant day for me. And I think it's really important because you're the first person on this podcast who's not living with HIV. No, who is married to somebody living with HIV. So you're negative, I'm positive. And what does negative and positive make? Boom.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah. So it's been a bit of a journey, hasn't it?
Well,
And
yes.
yeah, it has. And the journey for you, when we first met, you were writing a book.
Yeah.
And finally, your book has been published here,
Woo!
The Secrets of Personal Development.
Yes.
So, from my humble opinion and experience, to to be open-minded, emotionally mature enough to entertain and not feel, what's the word, threatened or concerned about living with somebody, being with somebody with HIV. You needed to have done a lot of work on yourself to be confident on who you are. I remember when we first met, I
Absolutely.
wasn't concerned about, I was a bit concerned about telling you I had HIV, but what I was more concerned about was you, not me, because I was all right. I'm taking my medication, I'm fine. And I remember saying, I'm all right, mate. I take one tablet a day. I can't pass HIV on. Everything's cool. When have you had a test? Because I didn't know you.
Mm.
5 years later, here we are. And 5 years later, we're married. And you've got your book out. And really would love you to talk about, why did you write a book? Why did you write this book?
Well, so obviously I've been through a journey myself as well, just like everybody else, For me, it all started in a day. I was about 24, 25 years old, and I decided that I need to change my life,
Mm-hmm.
because I was a great addict of bad relationships, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, you name it. If there's an addiction attached to it, I was present. Now, to make that long story short, I'm going to say that as I started working on myself, I was thinking about what do I really want in life? Because back then I remember I wanted just what everybody else wants. I
Mm-hmm.
want that Rolls Royce. I want that £5 million mansion up on the hills. The models, this, that, all those millions and quadrillions and all that. But all that fame was being pushed towards me through mass media. So it was kind of what I wanted and not. So after I have done a total introspection of what I really want and what really makes me happy, I realized that that's not by far what I want. Fair enough, I want to be free. That entitles some financial freedom, some emotional freedom, some having a house and a car, absolutely no problem. But I don't need the airplane to be happy and fulfilled. And so I was thinking at the time as well how everybody just wants this and they want a family and kids. And all of that business. And I was thinking, do you know what? I don't necessarily want that family and kids. And I was thinking, well, if that is the case, what am I going to leave on this planet? What am I going to leave as a legacy? You know,
Yeah.
because we all come here and we take everything, and it's fair and square. The planet still goes. Mother loves us, Mother Planet loves us. But I thought to myself, you know what? There's many more other ways of leaving a legacy, and one of them for me is through personal development, is
Yeah.
through my passion, through what I love doing the most. You know.
So teaching others or showing others through your experience, you know, how things work for you. So, you said that, mass media kind of showed you how you should live on this earth. I like to call it the matrix, like you're part of this herd of, humans, that we need to look this way, we need to act this way, we need to be this way. And it sounds
Yeah.
like you got to a stage and you thought to yourself, well, actually, I don't know if I want to be all those things. I think I want to be quite individual. So you must have hit rock bottom to be able to come back up again, to come back up and get yourself out of that tangled web.
Well, to be honest with you, I realized what I really want when I started doing personal development, AI, self-love. So when
What's
I
that?
really started loving myself, that's when I realized who I am and what I really want.
We talk a bit about self-love because we hear this all day long. Self-love, self-love, on all the kind of emojis and all the, the social media talk about it. What does it mean for you?
So I talk about this in my book as well. There's a whole chapter on personal development. I think it's one of the best chapters in the book, if I may say that so myself. And so I'm talking about how to transform discipline into self-love. Now I know discipline has a bad connotation. Like it comes from old school. Discipline means army soldier, stand up straight, don't move left, don't move right. So you're basically a little robot that does as is being told to do so. As opposed to the new age or the new era of personal development, which is kind of self-love. So I do wake up at 4 in the morning and I do my meditation and my workout and my ice cold bath and whatnot, and a bit of reading and this and that. However, sometimes it is uncomfortable, but I understand through practice and in time how that actually benefits me to pursue my dreams. And therefore, it's a practice of love, as opposed to how I used to do it about over 10 years ago when I was to just take drugs and waste my time with low friends. So that's how I look at it, The waking up early in the morning might be uncomfortable sometimes, but in time, you will have gained more self-worth.
I really like that. I really like that, actually, the way that you link self-love and discipline to a certain extent, because there are so many different ways of self-love. There's so many different ways, one of them is, is by having a practice that's beneficial to you through discipline. And for me, that was getting back into reading, like just reading a book, and so how does, go on.
If I can just say, obviously, self-love has to do with everyone's passion. Whatever your passion you're following, whatever you have to do to accomplish your passion, that's part of your self-love journey.
Yeah. So what are your passions?
My passion is personal development. My passion is to be able to perform in this lifetime a series of experiences that are going to be able to help me and those around me.
Yeah.
Such as, writing books, doing some personal development, working through my yoga business, as an instructor, and my future personal development courses.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay. So I wanted to ask you, so when we first met, I remember you saying to me that you told somebody, a friend or somebody at work, or, oh, I met this woman, girl, and she told me she had HIV. And your friend said, stay away,
Yeah.
and you chose not to. That must have, I mean, like, what was there for you? Like someone saying, don't go there, this woman's got HIV, and you chose not to. You chose to not listen to his opinion. Wasn't you concerned about what people would think?
No, not at all. I was at the stage where I am right now as well. I don't care about what people say. Who doesn't like you, they're fine. You don't
Why
need to be
don't you
liked by
care
everyone.
about what people say in that way?
Because that is a very hurtful baggage to carry along your lifetime. To care what the neighbor says, to care what the brother says, to care what the father says, to care what the mother says, to care what the cousins and your co-workers are saying about you. This means that you're going to live in a very limited box, and you're going to behave accordingly. Don't let the mom, the cousin, the co-worker, don't do this, that. Instead,
Yeah.
be who you really are. You'll have less of those friends around you. That's fair and that's
Yeah.
factual. But you are living a life of purpose, a life
And
of self-love
freedom.
and freedom. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of emotional freedom, not having to worry about who says what and when.
I mean, I'm looking
No,
in
sorry,
your,
to
yeah.
answer your question, because I
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to answer your question of why I did not listen to that guy.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
of all, when you first told me that, I remember we were out on in Hyde Park or somewhere. I can't remember exactly. And
Yeah. Hyde Park.
yeah, I didn't bat an eyelid. But then, fair enough, when I got home, I said, let me do a little bit of research. Let me
Yeah.
ask around a little bit. And I had this friend at work, which you know, we knew each other, but not that
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So he told me that I should probably just stay away, don't get involved. But I counterbalance that with meeting you and who you
Mm.
are as a human being. And
Mm.
from an energetic point of view, I had a massive connection with you from the beginning. So
Mm.
a little thing would not stay in my way for me to get to know you and to
Mm.
get to love you along the way. Uh,
Mm.
if I were to just listen to the naysayers and all the rest of the people, I would probably never have been with you, and
Yeah.
vice versa. Because, yeah, yeah,
Because I think, like, people can be very judgmental. And I think there's something about it holds you back. It holds people. If people are really judgmental, not just about HIV, but about race, we've not even gone there yet, or about age, or about all those kind of things, it holds you back from experiencing things that come your way, and you're limiting yourself because you're concerned about what your neighbor's saying, and and you don't want to feel rejected. I think as human beings, we don't
yeah,
like rejection. We want to be part of a social group that
yeah.
um, gives us validation. So you had to
Mhm.
find your own validation, and you had to go on this journey to discover the secrets of personal development. And on that, I was reading this, I think it was on chapter 4, and it was a chapter on education. And you say here that, you know, money will allow freedom, but don't expect instant gratification.
Mm.
When you say instant gratification, you know, what do you mean by that? That money will come, but don't expect instant
All right.
gratification.
So I will answer to your question immediately. I just want to say a little quote what you just told me a minute ago,
Yeah,
where people judge. I have come to understand throughout my experiences that people judge not necessarily because they're mean, but because of a lack of education,
yeah,
because of a lack of knowing. Now, coming back to your question here,
yeah.
what was it? What?
Well, actually, I was gonna talk about the instant gratification, but now you have said
Mm,
that, there's something else that you said. You said on your chapter on education, expanding your knowledge might scare you. Do it anyway, because the happiness and fulfillment in this lifetime of yours will depend on it. What would you rather
mm,
choose? To try and learn new things in the next 5 years, whether it takes you out of your comfort zone and makes you feel uncomfortable, and maybe you may lose a few friends or relationships, or follow your dreams and it can become a lonely road? Or would you rather live led by another person's dreams?
mm. Yeah, so I suppose that that all comes down to finding your purpose in life, you know,
Yeah,
finding your passion. Um, that is as well connected to the finances that you asked me earlier, you know,
yeah,
whereas let's say somebody has a passion of becoming a violinist, but let's be honest, at the beginning of that career, maybe for years, you're not going to be able to actually make money. You know, you need years and years to first of all learn how to play it.
mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a struggle, yeah, but maybe in 2, 3, 5, 10 years, that person will be able to produce money as well as finding their passion, you know.
So you wasn't afraid of learning and experiencing new things.
I was. It's just I'm an opportunist, you know.
Yeah.
Of course I'm scared to try new things because it's taking me out of my comfort zone. But because of my true desire to gain freedom, that's not gonna stop me. That's not gonna be in my way. A little bit of uncomfortableness or you know.
What is freedom? Is it happiness? Like, what is it? Like you
I
talk
think
about,
it
yeah,
translates. I think it translates different to everybody, you know.
yeah,
Like uh freedom, it depends. I think it's got certain levels. My personal freedom um, would be emotional and financial freedom, you know? Like, obviously, financial freedom, that's pretty straightforward. You know, you want to be able to have enough money to do whatever you want to do in life without
mm,
any restrictions. That's pretty simple to understand. However, the emotional balance requires a little bit more time to learn, to practice, to experience in itself.
yeah,
So, you know, imagine myself as a person with ADHD. I get
yeah,
quick bursts of anger, of
mm,
energy, and more often than not, I tend to act harshly instead of taking a step back and thinking about it. Now, emotional freedom will come into place when I learn to emotionally regulate myself. So I don't just jump into whatever has happened. I take action. I take a step back. I think about the situation, analyze it, then take action. So that would be an example of it.
mm.
So
You know,
that's what
yeah.
it means to me.
So I think I'd love to talk to you about ADHD in just a separate podcast altogether, because I think there's a lot there. But just quickly to touch on it, when did you find out you had ADHD?
Think about a year and a bit ago, something
Yeah.
like that.
So as an adult.
Yes, as a mature grown human being. I was about 33, I
Mm,
think, 32, something like that.
yeah.
In my 30s, basically, yeah.
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 And they've got this thing about knowledge is power. So a lot of people no, sorry, I should say this differently. Some people don't want to get tested for HIV because they don't want the knowledge in case they have it.
Mm,
But I would say to somebody who is afraid of getting tested for HIV, sweetheart, go and get the test because you have the knowledge. And the
mm,
knowledge will allow you to look after yourself and live well. If you don't have the knowledge, it's going to be a really hard road for you. If you have the
yeah.
knowledge, it's better. Would you say it's the same with finding out about ADHD? Because some people might not want to know, for example, if they have a
I
neurodivergent.
think I think absolutely whatever kind of neurodivergency you are tapping into or thinking about, autism, dyslexia, HIV. Well, HIV is a different kind of disease. It's not mental. However, I think, yes, definitely it should be looked, checked out, because then you'll understand yourself better. You'll
Mm,
understand, because in my case, for example, this has held me back so much. Being in
yeah,
school, it never worked for me. I was not the kind of learner. I could never learn by sitting still in a chair and yes, teacher, no teacher. That was not me. I was fidgeting all the time. I'm very active with my ADHD. So, but that's the light part. The hard part for me, as an example, was that it comes with a lot of guilt and shame.
yeah,
So my weakness was procrastination,
yeah,
and I would hit a wall and go
yeah,
down for months, not knowing
oh,
what is going on with me.
yeah,
Yeah. And in time, fair enough, because I was into personal development world, I kind of worked my way around it. You know, I looked at pattern recognition, I took courses, seminars, books, etc. And it made me understood how to kind of work my way around it. But if
mm-hmm,
I were to know, for example, 8 years ago, 10 years ago about this, I wouldn't carry that heavy bag of guilt and shame as if, why didn't I wake up that morning to go to that job? Why
yeah,
didn't I? Instead, I
yeah,
would have understood myself and I would have loved myself with more
yeah,
compassion,
yeah,
you know? So
yeah.
definitely, yes, you have to check yourself out.
So, okay, I'm going to wind up now because I'm already thinking I want another podcast with you just to talk about neurodivergency.
Okay.
um, but if you had to give a message to somebody out there who is maybe dating someone and they found out that that person has HIV, what would you say to them?
Uh, have no fear. First of all, have no fear. I know that it has been instilled in our minds through adverts back in the
Mm,
60s, 70s, 80s on how HIV equal AIDS, equal death, a little bit of blood, everybody's dying, some mad crucifying cemetery stuff. It's not the
yeah.
case anymore. It cannot be transmitted through
Mm-hmm,
touching somebody. And
mm-hmm,
especially if you're taking your 1 pill a day, you have absolutely no problem whatsoever. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So instead of being scared and angry, ask a few questions, you know, ask around and see how it works for yourself. So you don't have to worry no more,
Oh, thank you. From somebody that's negative to somebody that's positive, yin and yang, black and white.
Ooh.
All right. Adrian, thank you for talking so
Thank you.
openly. And I look
Sure.
forward to speaking to you again.
Yeah, well, let's not forget before we close this show today here. Yeah, the link in bio in description is called The Secrets of Personal Development. Yeah,
Yeah.
by Adrian Vallace. It's available on Amazon everywhere around the world in English version, and we've got the Romanian version as well coming soon. This is gonna come soon. So have a great one. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.